Hello everyone and welcome back to Iron Man. So yeah, we started the game last part. We escaped the 10 rings, and now uh, trying to defend Stark Industries from these assholes that are attacking. I guess it's more 10 rings, but, so yeah, it's helicopters, and I think it's just, or, sorry, it's not 10 rings, it's the Magia. So yeah, we're just defending the compound uh, from these guys, and this isn't really much of a level. Uh, I guess it is. Like, you're training, and all of a sudden this happens. It's a real test of showing how the game mechanics and stuff work. And it's fine. It works. It does its job. It is not a bad tutorial, all things considered. But so yeah, I guess on that note, we should kind of get into the game itself, going over it a little bit. So, literally, every level that you're gonna see, aside from, some bosses and whatnot, is you flying around to some sort of destination and just shooting the shit out of tanks, drones, like, just what have you. Like, it's a non-stop barrage of going after kind of drones and all that stuff. Every level has a set number of things to destroy for like your main, like, if there's an orange icon over it, that's something important to take out. So it's up to you to kind of you know do your thing and use your weapons and all that stuff on you to sort of take out what's there. Like, but yeah, the main important thing is just whatever's orange. Anything that's orange is like main priority. Anything that's like has a blue highlight over it is just like it's just enemies you can take out. For me personally, though, I never bother with like the side grunts and stuff unless it was like truly necessary. Like, if they're just like, we need you to defend something and you got to take out everybody, then it's like, okay. One of the missions we'll see later involves you trying to save Pepper from, I think it's AIM or something like that, and so a lot of that is just you like doing whatever you can to kind of yeah, just like defend the building from getting blown up. I bet you when we get to that part, it's just gonna be an absolute nightmare because I fucking hate that level. There are some levels in here that like are just the absolute worst. It's usually like the last few missions of the game, because besides that, like, everything else for the most part, like, it runs like it's pretty smooth for the most part. Like, there's no trouble at all when it comes to like blowing certain things up, or what have you. Like, for the most part, the game's pretty generous up until the end. So, and then but other than that, it's just like it's kind of a boring slog to go through, honestly. But for me, though, it's like, when you really think about it, like, when you really piece it all together, it's like, it is kind of a boring game. But at the same time, though, it's like, it's one of those things where it's like, I can have fun with this in my own way. And so, like, I love flying around. I love shooting at things. Uh, for me, though, the flying controls are the best thing about this game, which is something I hope that like the the motive Iron Man game kind of takes note of is one thing that's definitely one thing I'm kind of excited for that. Like I want to see from them is just kind of like some sort of flying mechanic like this, but where you're allowed to kind of express yourself freely and you know, take care of situations however you wish. So I guess kind of getting into the controls here. Just for note, I'm playing the Xbox 360 version. As you can tell by the smooth 60 frames per second. The PS3 version, which I took a look at last year, does not have this, but it's a game that works just fine without 60 FPS. But I think it really helps in the 360's benefit. Like it really does help in those situations. So if, like I said in the video, if you're gonna play either version, your best case is to play it on the 360. So, and honestly, you'd more likely own a 360 rather than a PS3 anyway. But let's see. So let's see. So left trigger is to hover. Is your hover button. You can just ascend and descend. You get as much height as you want. And all this other other shit. Left bumper is your flight button, so that allows you to travel at a allows you to go forward, and you can hold the A button too to get faster, and it is pretty great. Oh yeah, at the end of every mission, you're assigned to you earn a certain amount of cash for how well you do. So yeah, left trigger to hover, left bumper to fly, and the right trigger is your repulsor button, so that allows you to shoot the repulsors out and all this other case. And it's fun, it is, but a lot of it is just you kind of holding the trigger down, and is you kind of holding the trigger down and just kind of doing nothing about it. So.
Simple logic. We're gonna destroy our inventory. I'm sorry. What did you just say? Listen.
But
they attacked us.
so yeah, that's pretty okay. It's cool. It's coolio.
I'm telling you, do it. Come on, Pepper.
Tony, what's happened to you?
Pepper, listen. I know you made it out of that cave. Now I know what I have to do.
Besides the right trigger, your right bumper is the unibeam, which the unibeam I don't find myself using too much.
I don't have a choice.
Oh yeah, these cutscenes are fucking terrible.
Look, I have to go on a...
You know what's funny is that they got RDJ to voice Tony in the cutscenes, but they didn't get him to voice his character in the actual levels. It's a completely different guy. I don't know what the case for that is, but... And also here's the upgrade menu. I try to strive for my upgrades that I usually pick are for balancing purposes. Like you could have upgrades with a little more firepower or defense and stuff. I always try to go for the choices where it's equal on all fronts. But so that is definitely one thing to consider with that. So what was I talking about? Oh yeah. So yeah, right bumper is your unibeam, which I don't find myself using.
So this is it?
It does come in handy for some certain situations, but it's something that I don't particularly use often. If I really need to destroy something for a side quest or whatever, or even just for a boss battle or whatever like that, then usually it's just okay, yeah, I can go with that. But most of the time it's just kind of Like, it's not really a thing. I forgot which bumper did what. Right there. So you'll notice on your D-pad there you have certain options you can switch to. One of them is for augmenting your, like, it's basically augments. So one of them is for augmenting your weapons, whether it's pulsers or missiles, which I'll get into soon.
Think I can handle these guys, Jarvis?
You can augment your health, basically, just kind of make yourself a little more little more of a damage sponge. And also there's one for melee. Melee is something I never use at all, so I think it's one of those things that doesn't really become useful outside of the first level or so, because you don't really have much going on in the first level when you're in the Mark 1 anyway. So melee's probably the best there, but yeah, I don't have a need or reason to use it for anything else. So our mission here is just to destroy like star crates and stuff that the 10 Rings has. So it's neat. It's a neat thing. What was I getting into? So I guess talking about other things you can do. I showed off the grab move there, which you can, for grounded enemies, you can do kind of like a like that. You can throw them to the ground. You can rip apart tanks, helicopters, and airplanes by holding the button in. So if you're close proximity to anything, you can just hold down the B button, and after a quick time event, you can basically destroy like whatever just by tearing it to pieces. Of course I mentioned melee, which I think is the X button. Yeah, don't care about that. The A button is sort of like the thruster button. So if you're like running on the ground, you can hold A to kind of move yourself forward a bit faster, and like that's pretty neat. Like that's kind of cool, all that. And I'm trying to think of some other things that I'm missing. I think I covered about all of it. Yeah, we're getting pretty close to the end. In short, I think the gameplay is really fun to mess around with. It's not the most intuitive, and there are some shortcomings. The targeting can kind of be a little finicky when it comes to moving between objects. Like at some points, you'll be at a standstill with what you're supposed to be firing at, and sometimes it'll just kind of switch on a dime too. Like for something that you weren't supposed to shoot at, you just kind of pivot yourself to it anyway. So that's kind of a pain to deal with. But oh yeah, here's me ripping the shit out of a helicopter. That's fun, and he just clipped through the building too. So that is something. But yeah, the gameplay is a lot of fun. I can come back to this and just have a good time and, you know, have fun kind of shooting stuff. Usually when I do come back to this game, like if I'm going to go back to this game next, after the live stream series, it's probably just going to be for the one-man army missions, because, and we'll get to those later, but, yeah, I enjoy this game. But yeah, that is going to be it for part 2. So we'll come back on Friday and experience more of Iron Man. Oh, sorry. But anyway, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, share, all that fun stuff. I will see you guys for the next part. Take care, everyone.